making process.
Well, I was not totally convinced by the painting of last week. Maybe I've reached that limit. There is a limit when you listen to what a customer wants, and I think I've reached that limit. The subject is not very easy. I told you about the composition that I chose. Normally, I like to take a to take a view where you look into a street and that you can lose yourself somewhere in the composition, that you can walk into a composition or even walk away. But now I chose some houses that I showed in front of the viewer, and that was because the street wasn't interesting to paint. There were new houses in the distance, and new architecture is always, modern architecture is always very difficult to add in a painting. And I wanted to do something with reflections in the water. So I needed a composition where I stood in front of that house where the customer is living. And yeah, now we have that very horizontal composition. I spoke earlier about that in the last video, where I started to paint on the left side and ended on the right side. It's like writing a letter, you know, and that's not what painting should be. So this weekend it was clear that I should make another one this week. And there I want to paint it as if it's not a commission painting, but just a painting. A painting from some lovely houses, water reflections and green bushes and trees. I'm motivated to do this. I mean, I only want to sell paintings that convince me entirely, totally too. And I like the colors in this painting, and I like that I painted something that these customers would like to see, but I would like to see another painting of mine next to it with the same composition, but painted quite different. Well, as I explained, more free. But first I would like to make another painting so that I feel free. Well, this weekend I visited a store with my daughter. She's 8 years young, and we went there because I'm building her new bedroom now in our new home. And this bedroom is in the room where the kitchen used to be when the former owners used to live in this house. That lived upstairs above the gallery. And now we are using the very old kitchen in the other house behind the house. We are living in two houses, and we want to use this old, beautiful kitchen. So everything is moved to this kitchen, and the kitchen that I used to have has disappeared now, and I'm building her bedroom over there. And we needed a door, and not a new door, but the doors like you see in this house, beautiful old wooden doors. And my brother, he found a store where they sell these old doors, and my daughter and I went there, but she felt a little car sick. So I stopped for a while, and we stepped outside, and we were amazed by the beauty of the landscape over there. It was so typically Dutch. Normally, to me, it looks quite boring, this Dutch landscape. It's all flat and green. I prefer the woods. That's where I come from. You have many woods in the south of Holland. And where we are living now, there are not many woods. It's only flat meadows, mills, and sky. But this day it was amazing. It was beautiful. The sky was wonderful. There was rain and there was sun. So a very interesting contrast. And The meadows were quite wet, you know. You saw that it had rain, so the green showed a very fresh, warm color. And there were a few mills around us, those old mills. And on the right side of that road where we were driving, there was a mill in backlight. Well, totally my subject. So, yeah, we stood there and we were watching and talking about the beautiful subject. And then I decided to take my cell phone and I shot a few pictures, and I knew that I had to start this week with painting one of those scenes that I had seen over there. It's a very simple subject, of course, because the horizon is totally flat. There is no rhythm in the meadow. The meadow is also only flat, and you need to look for values in the green color. But what I like is this meditative, quiet mood in this Dutch landscape, and that main subject that appears immediately on the left side of the composition, this dark old mill as a silhouette, in between those beautiful large clouds. And as we stood there, it felt like entering a theater, you know. It's so massive, it's huge, and there was no wind, and it was quiet. So that's an amazing experience, that you have this massive space around you with clouds and a horizon in the distance as far as you can see. And it's totally quiet and there is no wind. Then it looks like you are in a theater or in a cinema watching a movie. It was magical. It was beautiful. It looks to me very easy, this subject, and very easy subjects are the hardest to paint. It's hard because when you paint an easy subject, well, at least a subject that looks easy to you, you see it in the painting that it was, well, it wasn't interesting. You saw in this case a mill and a horizon, so you have this composition, and the mill is easy to paint. It's only one mill, not 10 or 20 mills, one mill and a horizon and a few clouds. It's not that I tried to make it more difficult for me then, but I tried to find the more interesting aspects in the composition, in this scene. And I think I will find this in the combination of the meadow and that mill. So that meadow where this mill was built, and yeah, when I remember that moment that I stood there, it was like, it looked like that mill and that meadow were one together, as if the mill was made from that meadow. Of course, it's not the truth, but that's what I remember when I see that scene in my memory. That very clear sky, and then the dark mill, but the dark meadow as well. And the tone of the mill and the meadow were almost the same. You can't show this in a picture. Maybe you can with a good camera, Photoshop, I don't know, but I use my cell phone in a hurry, and then you you get a picture made by that filter that a cell phone uses. And so yeah, you need your memory, and yeah, you need to work from that scene that's somewhere in your memory, and that's the starting point for the colors I'm mixing, and the starting point for the contrast that I need for this painting. Because the camera is lying, it's not the truth, and my painting isn't the truth either, of course, but it's my truth. It's what I've seen over there, and then maybe even stronger. Well, not maybe, even stronger, because you have to make that memory stronger, that experience stronger, to show it. In the past, I used to be more carefully with that. So I was very interested in what reality showed, and I tried to come very close to that in mixing colors and in contrasts. But seeing my paintings next to fellow painters made me see that the art piece, the painting, that's the new reality, and that has to be very clear and strong in a certain way. It has to show that what you experience on a certain location, on a certain moment. And when you are too careful with this, it's not clear enough because it's weak. Painting very carefully is weak in most of the paintings. So I'm making myself stronger in this, and I'm not afraid to exaggerate in color and contrast. I'm grateful for the clouds, that this day showed me those beautiful, amazing clouds. Without those clouds I wouldn't even have painted it. The clouds are a landscape by themselves. They show a landscape upside down, and in brighter colors and very soft contrasts, but the same game in light and shadow. Well, I really don't know if the second painting is going to be a better or a worse painting, but I'm just curious what it's going to look like when I use my fresh look and yeah, my freedom to paint it as if this is a painting just for myself. I was very happy with the use of colors. So I will use the same mixing of colors. Well, the composition is quite tricky, but the best composition I can get for this one. I made a few sketches in winter time. That was nice. I prefer winter above summer and spring, but you see too much of the houses in winter time. So I'm using the same season as well. I'm using the same light direction. So I think this painting is going to look quite similar. And working on this painting, I can say that it goes 2 times faster than the first time, because I already know a few details how to do it. I don't have to look for solutions because I already found them. The customer would like to see more of the houses, not like you see in the winter time, but it must be a summer painting, and then I have to cut off the trees here and there. And that's what I did in the first painting. And now in the second painting, I want to keep it how it is in reality. So I want to make large trees and they cover the houses. I prefer this. And well, if the 2 paintings are showing the same quality, I think I'll let them choose. I've done that earlier. Sometimes I make 2 paintings, for example, when I made a painting for someone and everything is good, but the colors are, in my opinion, quite cold. And yeah, you can't change this in watercolor, of course. So then I make a second one. And yeah, then I let the customer choose. And everyone has his or her own preference in warm or cold colors. And maybe they don't have their own preference and then they can't choose. That was something which happened, I think, last winter. And I bought both. So that wasn't too bad. I'm relieved about the fact that I'm enjoying painting this one. I was, of course, not very motivated to make another one because I just finished last week the other one, but the motivation was only because I want to sell a painting that shows the best that I can for this composition. But it's nice to paint it over again. Yeah, I'm feeling more relaxed now because it's going well, and I like to feel that freedom to do what I like. Although I know that the customers and I made a different agreement, but I have this first painting too, so I can show both, and I'm getting really curious to see what I like and what I will choose. The combination in colors is great. The warm brick red and the warm yellow green of the trees, and then the color of the sky reflected in the water in combination with those dark cold shadows. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I have to exaggerate this to make these contrasts stronger and to show more color than you would see in reality. Just to show that, yeah, I'm amazed by the colors. The color for me in this subject is the most interesting aspect to paint. more than the composition, more than the shapes. It's really a colorful subject. So I play with the color and I look if I can make it as strong as possible. Well, I'm really happy it's done in 1 week. There was more to do this week, so yeah, I had a good week. One of the first mills I've ever painted. And well, I made another one a few months ago. There are many mills in the region where we live, so maybe I will do more of them. It's a nice subject. And well, and then this second painting of the house for the customers who will receive this painting this week. Well, thank you for watching again this video. I will be there next week again with another video. For the special members, well, check out the whole process. It was filmed, the whole process of both paintings, and I made another edit for you to see well, what happened. If you're not a special member yet, then you can find the link in the description to become one and to find all those special videos in the member section video playlist. Thank you. See you next week and enjoy the weekend. Bye.